Good evening, ladies. How's everybody doing?
Good evening. Good.
Oh, y'all.
And Wendy, we missed you on our last excursion.
Oh, the jazz in that alley. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, it was very
it was
nice.
it was fun and the bands were good. That was a nice thing about it. The bands were really good. Bonnie, remember that guy Wendy? He played. Is it two saxophones, Bonnie?
He played two, but he said he could do three, but he
Right.
played two.
He played two saxophones at one time.
And he played for 5 minutes
He
on one
held a
of them.
note for 5 minutes.
Wow.
5 minutes. So I think that's probably going to go in the Guinness Book of World Record because he held that note for 5 whole minutes. People were like, "Oh my, gasping!" But
Yeah.
it was a nice summer afternoon, so that was real good.
Sounds like
Hey
he got
guys,
his crescendo in there.
yes, absolutely. So hey guys out there, we need for you to do what, guys? Hey ladies, what do we need
Subscribe,
to do?
like,
Like, share, comment.
yes.
And you subscribe, guys. We see you out there. I see you out there watching. I know the ladies see you watching. So, you might as well go ahead and subscribe so that you can get all the latest content. We haven't
And
been
ask
here.
us a question about something. I'm sure you have a question about something.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. Hey, ladies. So listen, even as you get older, there are certain things that you still want to make sure that the person that is for you embodies some of those kinds of things. Like let's say, for instance, do you want a man that has has a hobby, that at least is passionate about something, that enjoys doing something, or do you want somebody that sits on the couch like a couch potato? Well, I can tell you, I want somebody that at least has a passion for something, has a hobby, or something, because I have lots of hobbies and I don't want someone that's boring. I can say that for myself anyway. So there's a what's his name? Our friend RC Blake. I got these questions from RC Blake's. He always has some good information to share with the ladies, and I thought this was pretty interesting. So he said you could ask the man these questions, and some of the questions he tells you at what point you should ask the man, and you can determine whether or not the man is for you. And this is if you're older or you're younger, because even as you get older, you still want a man that has some kind of excitement, about himself. Well, unless you do want a couch potato, and that's different, and that's okay because everybody's different. So. So, ladies, who wants to start us off here? Of the questions that are here, there's 9 questions listed. What two really resonate with you, and as far as the kind of man, what kind of qualities he has that really work for you, in a relationship?
Well, I enjoyed question 1, which was what you should find out on the first date, if the person is compatible or you're comfortable with. I mean, that's very important. You don't necessarily pick that up on a dating site, but a date would help because you're face to face and you can look at the person, you can see if they're sincere or if they're just full of malarkey. And what you said about the insight about if somebody has a passion, if they're interested in something, it can be sports, it can be I guess golf is considered sports. That
Yeah.
almost a couch potato to me, but if
I know, right? That's true.
if they have some sort of passion to do something, to get up, to walk, to run, whatever kind of hobbies they have, makes them a little more energetic.
Right.
So those were the two that stuck out to me.
Okay, all right. And those are two important ones, because the one thing I thought about these questions was that it really does give you insight into a person to tell whether or not, if you're going to like this person or not. You know what I mean? Like you select number one. Is this person, do they have goals? You can still have goals after 50. You can have goals at 60. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're an active person, I want somebody that, whether your goal is to get up every day and go take a walk, at least that's a goal. You want to do something with your life, not just sit at home. Because some people honestly say that once they retire, they just want to sit at home. Well, I don't know about those people, but I don't want to just sit at home when I retire. What about you, Wendy? What do you think?
About sitting at home after retirement.
No, well, that too, but the questions, what questions
Oh,
resonate
the
with
one
you?
that stood out to me. I mean, I do like the one about the interests and the hobbies. I think that's pretty standard what you want to know. Some of these you said he had in there like the time frame where you should ask these questions. Because
Yeah,
some of
like
them
the
are
first one,
little,
he said the first date, if you're comfortable, that's a good
oh,
time.
all of these on the first date?
No, mm-mm.
Oh,
He just identified a couple. Like the third one, he said, "Can you ask the person if they can describe a challenging experience that has shaped them into the man that they are today?" Well, he said that's something that you can ask on the second or third date if you're comfortable with the person.
I think that's a heavy conversation to
a
ask.
That's
heavy
what.
one, I
That's
thought.
why he said
Some
the
of them
second. Or,
are a
that's why
little
he
bit
Yeah,
said.
that's
heavy. I
That's why he said the
thought.
second or third day. Like,
Like, when you tell me, tell me your deepest, which we'll say that in fun, but you
so
don't
when
want
would you
to.
ask him? No, so seriously, when do you think you would ask a man, not should, when do
Yeah.
you think would be a good time to ask a man that kind of question?
Well, I can't say the date number, but when you're starting to know them fairly well, that's a deep question. You're getting past the layers when you start to ask those kind of questions.
Okay, okay.
So that, they've opened up to you and you've opened up to them, whatever date that is, whatever time frame
Right.
that is.
No, that's true. What
Yeah.
else you got, Winnie?
Okay, let's see. The how do you handle adversity and difficult situations in life? See, now that's a little deep. That's a little deep. I wouldn't ask that on the first date.
Oh no, no, not in the first date.
Yeah. Get to know each other a little on another level, then yeah, that's a great question to ask. Um, what do you most value in your relationship with others? That's a good question.
Yeah, because and the thing about some of these questions is some people can't answer them. And that's the whole idea is if you meet somebody that really can't answer these questions, what kind of life have they lived? How deep are they just surface people, because say for instance, if you did ask a guy, can you describe what would you said, how do you handle adversity or difficult situations in your life? If he said to you, I don't do nothing, how, how would you feel? How would you respond to that?
Well, everybody's had adversity. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. So it's up to them whether they want to share with you how they handle it.
But no, how would you respond to that? If
Well,
you ask, if you
if
ask the
they're not
person,
willing to share it, then that means that,
no, but how would you respond to that person? If that person said that to you, what would you say to them?
if they say they don't do that.
Yeah, if they say, "Oh, I don't do nothing."
I'd say okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like maybe I'm crying, maybe I
Yeah. See,
overstepped
some of
because
them,
clearly
yeah, some of the
everybody's
questions
had
seem,
adversity and there's a way that you have dealt with it. So if you don't want to share that, then okay, maybe I've,
See,
overstepped.
that's a red
because you
flag. That's a
answer
red flag for me. That's a
well,
red
but
flag.
if you answer, Chrissy, sometimes then that makes it like you're being adverse because you're almost forcing
Drilling them,
ask
right?
answer the question.
Well, no, you're not. It's how you also have to find the right way to ask a question. You're not going to ask it in the way that you're drilling them for, questions. It's just like it becomes part of the conversation. I mean, any of these questions. I mean, that how do you handle adversity or difficult situations? If after I've known you for a month and you can't tell me that, then that's a red flag for me, because if I'm with you and there's a deep situation, I want to have a clue of what to expect from you. I do. And if I don't have a clue of what to expect from you and now I got to deal with this myself, then that's the problem. That's a problem for me. I can only
You
say
mean adversity, like if you and him went out and somebody said something out of character that
no,
he defend you?
no, not that's not what I'm referring
Oh,
to. More of say there's a situation with a family member, you know, and he's gotten caught up in it, and he doesn't want to face the situation. He wants to, you know, just sit back and let people do or say whatever, when he really does need to have his input. Yeah, that's not a leader. That's not someone that I look at as a leader. Because I need in my life, I can only say for me, I need a strong man that's a leader, because I know that if he's not that, then I take over, and that's not what I want. I don't want to be the leader, but I'm not going to let somebody be docile in my life either. Well, actually, they're not going to be in my life, so that's pretty much that. But yeah, I don't know. See, I look at it differently. You know, I wouldn't look at it like you're badgering him or anything. You're asking a question, because that tells you the depth of the man, you know, and that's what I want to know. I want to know the depth of a man. So for me, one was important, and this was important to me because I'm busy a lot. If he's still working, how does he balance working and personal life? That's important to me, because I know I do a lot of things, so I have to stop and I have to think and I have to tell myself, okay, if you want to be in a relationship, you have to make time for the person. So you want the person to be able to do that for you as well, especially if you can see that they're a busy person, and they, you know, do things, and you see this from the first or second date, because you're having these conversations and they're telling you this. Because that's what I do. I share that information, but I also say, I realize that I know I need to make time for a relationship, in, you know, balancing my work and my personal life. Because people sometimes think, and I've had people say this to me, well, how do you have time to have a relationship? So I just open up and I just tell them, you know, I do a lot of things. I'm involved in things. I'm a creative person. I'm an active person. But I know that if I want to be in a relationship, I have to make changes in my life, and I will make those changes once I, you know, settle down with somebody that I know is going to be there, you know, for the long haul with me. So another one for me, let's see, what was the other one? I thought this was a real, not, and this one wouldn't necessarily be for me, but I just thought it was interesting. What kind of legacy or impact do you hope to leave behind? You know, so you want to know, how do they actually think about that? What kind of person is he? Because usually people that are professionals in their lives, they, you know, have been working, and they may have children or they may not have children, so they may not be leaving a legacy. But what kind of impact do they want? What do they think of themselves, or what do they think other people think of them? You know, what are they going to leave behind of themselves that other people are going to speak good about, so to speak?
Frozen.
You know,
You
what did you say, Bonnie? I'm sorry.
You were frozen.
Oh, I was running my mouth too.
We didn't hear nothing.
So the second one for me is what motivates or inspires you in your personal and professional life. I definitely want to know and I want to know more what motivates and inspires them.
Yes, Chris, the legacy one, we didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were frozen.
Oh, okay. Then I said, duh. So now I was saying about the legacy one, that for me, it's not as much the legacy, but the impact. What kind of person is this person? What does he think of himself? How does he think? What is he leaving behind that other people are going to remember? Are they going to speak well of him because he's done these things and he's helped other people? You know, if he does have kids, has he built up anything to leave behind for his kids? Because that, to me, that lets me know that this is a thoughtful person. This is a person who has a plan, you know, and they work on that plan, whether it's, you know, for their kids or just for themselves personally, for other people to know who they were and what they did in their life, and maybe what they did for other people as well. But
you know what how I would ask that? I would ask the person, what do you want to leave on your tombstone? You know, the dash between when you were born and when you died. What would that dash be?
I like that, Bonnie.
Yeah, I think it's a more easier and not debatable, or, you know.
That's like a 60 minutes question, Bonnie. That's like for 60 minutes. I like
Hey.
Waiting for 60 minutes.
Well, good. We got 60 minutes to talk about it.
No, I mean like the news show 60 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
They would ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? That's good, because that puts a person on the spot. What would you leave on your tombstone? I like that. That's
short and sweet. That's short and sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's like what you want them to remember about you.
Right.
You know, and then they have to tell us something about themselves or the kind of person that they are. And it wouldn't be so, it would be just casual.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely, I like that. I like that. So the other one, it was, and I think Winnie, you may have said this one, describe the ideal partner or relationship. Now, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would ask that question.
Now, when would you ask a question like that? When would,
When?
yeah, at what stage? 2 months, 3 months, a month?
I mean, I think that's not really all that
That deep? You
deep.
think that's an early
No.
one? That's an
Yeah,
early one?
yeah, I think so.
Because if you think about this, if you're sitting there and he starts describing a person and you're like, that's not me. That's not me. I'm not like that. And you know that everything he says is the opposite of who you are. What would you say to him?
I can't. Been there, done that. I can't. Do you like doing this? Nope. Can you want you know, recently I had a conversation like that and everything was more like I can't, you know.
No, Bonnie, what happened? Tell us. We want to know.
I was dating someone recently and he was much younger than me. So that bothered me already. Much. He was
But you
out of
like
my
him young, Bonnie.
I do, not that young.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
he was very mature. I didn't know it. I wouldn't have known it. Nothing. But because of the age factor, everything he said that he wanted in his woman, I couldn't do. I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, situations because I'm older, you know, health conditions, things that hurt on me, you know, I couldn't. And I just kept saying, no. I said, I'll be a rah-rah girl at the door. You know, you go do it and I'll be right there waiting for you with pom-poms, you know, because that's me. I'm about having fun. But in reality, I had to be honest and say that I couldn't. So I knew I wasn't that person. So it didn't go anywhere.
Bonnie, you know I gotta ask some more questions. Are we talking about like and not to dig? You don't have to tell us exactly what, but are we talking about like skydiving or mountain climbing or what
Yes, exactly.
okay.
Person had a
Okay.
motorcycle in the
Oh
trunk.
no.
Okay. Did you see my ass on the back of a motorcycle at my age? No, no. So it was no. And they wanted to go mountain climbing. And they said, do you like to go for walks? Well, I used to, but no, you know. I said, I have neuropathy, honey. You know what that is? It's 24/7, your feet hurt. So the last thing I want to do is to really give them a challenge because they give me a challenge right back, you know. So
Okay. Okay.
I mean, in cases like that, they're telling you the type of person that they want. And like you said, Chrissy, if you know that you're not that woman, then you have to let the person go, even if you like them and they like you, because, you know, I wouldn't want to, and I didn't want to stop someone from having that great, what they want to do, you
Yeah.
Right,
know.
Yeah.
right.
So
No,
how
no.
long did
And,
you guys see each other, if you don't mind us asking?
huh?
How long did
3 weeks. three
okay.
weeks, going on almost a month. Yeah,
So,
almost.
so, 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 Bonnie, when did you have this conversation? You said about going out a month. So, at what point was did this conversation come up?
Oh no, I kept hearing it.
Oh,
It
okay.
every
Periodically,
time
things
I
would
went to
come
the
up.
company,
I see.
everything that's in here, he was sprouting off to me. I didn't have to say anything. I just,
Okay.
I just listened. Something
Okay.
I was
Okay.
told I don't do, but I just listened.
But you
And
know, I gotta say, Chris, they okay, just like this situation with Bonnie, if they answer the question and the person that they are interested in and they want to date is nothing like me, well, we just saved each other a whole lot of time, didn't we?
exactly,
Exactly. And
exactly.
that's the good thing about, because think about this sometimes, and because I know I have been in relationships for months, and maybe even a year, and you start finding out these things, and it's like, oh God, I can't live with this person like this forever. I can't do this forever. So asking these questions up front, I think is the best thing to do in a lot of cases. Get it out of the way so nobody gets hurt. You can move on and find the right person, the person that person that's for you.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, anything else? Let's see. Was there anything else that stood out? let's see. We talked about that, personal life and passions and hobbies. And I don't know, as you get older, that's a hard one, even though I would want someone that still has something in their life that brings them joy. You know, as people get older and they're retired, they're not really thinking about that. Just to be totally honest, you know, they're not. They're thinking about relaxing, sitting down and just doing nothing. The
You
average.
know, and I think in the beginning of relationships, people always ask, date one or on the phone, they always ask, so what do you like to do? Right there's your first question.
Yes,
What
they
do
do.
you like to do?
Mhm.
So, you know, they tell you, you tell them, however it comes out. It's usually very early on. I've never had to wait for that question.
Right, that is true. That's usually one of the first questions that they ask you. You know, what are your interests? What do you like to do? Because I mean,
Mhm.
you have to have things in common. You know, I mean, when you're younger, sometimes you don't really care. Especially, you know, if the person has money, you're looking at the dollar bills. You don't really care if you have anything in common. Well, you do have that one thing. You like their money, so I'm sure they like their money too. So so definitely that's definitely for sure. Well ladies, that's interesting. Anything else, any other questions that you think that aren't on this list that RC Blake's pointed out? Anything else that you think you would ask in the early stages of dating someone that aren't on this
Kids
list?
you got?
Ronnie, I'm sorry.
How many children do you have?
Uh, yeah, no, how many do you have and how old are they? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
because that'll tell you whether or not he's still taking care of them. Oh, guys, you froze for a second there. The weather must be bad on your side
That's
I
because you still are frozen.
went
very
out with a guy
relevant.
I went out with a guy with 12 kids, and hey, Chris, you back?
Yeah, you guys are
Did you feel?
frozen. That's on my
Oh,
side.
I don't know if I was frozen or just shocked.
But
Well,
yeah,
you said
I don't remember
12.
the question. 12 kids. He had 12 kids, and I can tell you that this guy used to send for me, and we used to spend time together lots, for months, and he seemed to be and he seemed to be a father that did things with his children, and you know, some of his children were older and out of the house, but 12 kids, you know, there's a lot around. You know.
There's a lot of age, yeah, unless they stair steps. But if they're not, yeah, he had some younger ones that he was still taking
Mm-hmm.
care of. You know.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't remember if I knew that on the first time around. I don't remember if I knew that when I first met him or later on. But yeah, 12 kids.
Yeah, I'm
That
telling.
presents quite a challenge, doesn't it, Bonnie? Or no, it didn't.
Dating and interfere with us dating. I'm telling you, he used to send for me. We had great fun. He lived in Connecticut. I lived in Atlanta. You know, and we
Oh
had
yeah,
great.
I remember that guy.
Hmm.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do. I do. I remember him. I
yeah,
remember 12 kids though.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, yeah, 12 kids, I don't have time for that because you know you got too much going on for me. They're gonna be calling you, they're gonna want something, they're gonna no.
Well, I'm not. You know, if we weren't in a serious anything, you know, it was about having fun,
Having
like
fun.
I said,
Right, right,
you
right.
know, and it
What about you,
worked
Wendy?
out nicely until it didn't, and then when it didn't, it was over.
Can you do the
Yeah.
12 kids, Wendy?
Huh?
Can you do the 12 kids?
I can't imagine. You know, when you said it, Bonnie, I was like, what's
Yeah, that's how I felt when I found out. I was like, what?
like, no, he had more than that. He had more than that. The guy on Ayana Van Zant,
Oh yeah, he had
he had
more.
more than that, I think.
Uh-huh, he did. Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
Woo.
That's too many because even no matter if they're older and out of the house, you know somebody always coming back for something. Yeah, that's going to affect my relationship. So
It
I,
would be if the relationship was forever, but if you live in Connecticut and I live in Atlanta, we already know this relationship is
right,
not forever unless
Yeah.
yeah,
you tell me, hey, I just moved my job to Atlanta. Then there's an issue.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it
No,
just,
you're
If it
right.
never presented a problem, if it never presented a problem for you, then
that's what I'm talking about. It never presented a
yeah.
problem. We always had a good time, you know, and it
Did
was
you ever
nice.
meet any of the kids, Vonnie?
Oh, he asked me to meet one of them, and this was the one he wasn't sure was his, but he said, okay, he took responsibility for the child, and he was going to buy him school clothes, and he said, "Why don't you come with us?" I was like, "No, thank you," you know, because I knew it wasn't going to be anything. I knew it, you
Right,
know.
right, right,
So
right.
I'm
you
not
didn't want
moving
the
to
kid to get attached to
Connecticut,
you.
right? So
Yeah.
you know what's the use of him meeting me? I'm.
Right.
Mm-mm.
No, yeah, you got a very good point there. Okay.
Honey, you gotta write a book.
Yeah, on
People
on your
told me that
relationship.
all of my life, and I wish I. Sometimes I do, and a lot of times I don't.
Well,
Wow.
your dates and your interests are very interesting. So we appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that. Hey guys out there, listen, you want to hear some more interesting things from Vonnie, you need to subscribe so you don't miss out in any content. Like us, share. We're trying to build up a network here, and the only way we can do that is if you help us, right, ladies?
Yes, yes,
Send us some juicy
absolutely.
topics to talk about. Send us
Yes.
what you want us to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, definitely, because we definitely like to hear what you want to talk about, so that
Yes, exactly.
we can sit here and just have
Nothing's off the table.
All right, ladies. Well, listen, we are going to be back next week, and then we're also going to have a guest next week. So we're looking forward to Clyde. Clyde will be with us next week. So, ladies, get ready for that. That should be some interesting conversation. Clyde seems like a very interesting gentleman. So, looking forward to that. Well, ladies, have a wonderful week, and we will talk shortly.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.